Oh, hammerhead boy.
Not hammerhead. Come on.
You ain't supposed to be eating on camera anyway. If you was like me, you would have already had it.
Oh my God.
Are we ready? Huh?
Sounds like an echo. Sounds like an echo.
Yep. One, two. One, two. Oh, we good. Let's have better now because the mics are far apart.
All right now.
Okay. Open it up, somebody.
Open up.
Blesses everybody. Welcome to the Remnant Couples Night Out. You know what I'm saying? I am looking forward to hearing some things from the family tonight. Yeah, it's been some time, so some things been going on. So see how the Holy Ghost gonna move tonight. Let's see what happens.
Anybody got any thoughts on their mind? I got something, but I want to see if y'all feel. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Pass it on to
Hey.
That's a lot.
So I'd have to say that there could be more of a beautiful time,
Mhm.
right? It's a blessing to be surrounded by those who are consistently consistent, right? There's no breaking stride for any reason. The love doesn't wither away. The crown doesn't float away. Something's been given to us here to be cherished for an eternity. And it doesn't matter what others can't see, because remnant gonna be remnant, strays gonna be strays, suckers gonna be suckers, and this love is gonna cover a multitude of sins. It's gonna keep enduring through right and wrong. The blessing is that within relationships that we all have, we know how to bring the correction. Within the culture, we know how to bring the correction. We know how to love beyond our own pain. Everyone here has been given the mind to deep dive down inside of things that are given to us and look beyond the surface of what we can see, to analyze with the information through the Holy Spirit to the best of our ability. And sometimes the Most High just be sitting up there playing a game, laughing at us, because he knows ultimately our thoughts are not his thoughts, our ways are not his ways. But for those who believe, everything that he allows to happen in our life, good and bad, all work to the greater good, work together for the greater good. And so here we are, not breaking stride. Couples night, everyone's beautiful, still shining, still glowing. Nothing could get in the way of this. This is something I haven't had ever in my life. I've had family members and people I was close to. I've lost people that I've loved in all kinds of ways, but nothing ever like this. I'm just thankful to the Most High for the relationships, for me and my wives, my uncle, my aunts, my brothers, my sisters, my nephews, everything that he's brought together. We just had a amazing baby shower. I never really did baby showers like that. But I have to say, it was fun. It was really fun. And just to be here to share those experiences, right? Well, others are so limited on what their ideas of blessings are. It's hard to explain to somebody, and this is just going back over here. It's hard to explain to somebody the elevation that happened within the remnant just this past April 13th. It's hard. If they don't have the eyes to see, it's hard. If some people are limited to, well, if it doesn't come in the form of something carnal, if it doesn't come in money, if it doesn't come in something that I can go party with, if they're limited to that, then it's almost impossible to explain to them the beauty of him lining up every single area within. We just got to see a display of getting worked on,
Getting free.
getting freed.
Getting free.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Still
Getting free.
getting worked on. Me and my lady was just talking. Me and my wife was just talking earlier today, and we were like, it seems like a new year just started.
Mm. That's
It's
good.
almost like April 13th was our New Year's, you know, like the beginning of something new. And when she said it, I was already feeling it. And that's exactly what it's like. Something new has spawned into the world. It's like the Most High has done a new thing in the earth.
And let me interject real quick because it's not just my freedom. What we all realize is that it is also what you were able, like Manaz had broken down so beautiful, what you were able to give to me, which shows the power of you being, right? What I get from you. And then I want to turn the corner real quick after that.
Mm-hmm.
But what I got from you to make to make me be in an area of freedom, because like I explained, I'm unconcerned about what people. Well, let me just say this: I have had more people about this subject message me on Facebook. I can show you some of the messages where people are really taken back by. Well, the main thing is that that's what leadership looks like. Man, I've never seen somebody be so accountable before. Man, that was beautiful. That's why we trust you. Man, and these aren't people in the remnant. These are people outside of the remnant that is actually seeing a demonstration of what it looks like to lead, what it looks like to get a perception wrong, right? And what do you do when you get that perception wrong, right? The beauty, the display is what I was told. And because within the culture, we never see that. We see people who make excuses, right? And I said I wanted to turn the corner. What I was thinking about earlier, the question I wanted to ask for our couples, since we were on it and since there was a perceived idea of failure of perception, but not failure of manifestation, right? What does failure look like to you guys in a relationship? What does failure look like to you in your relationship? How do you perceive failure? That's a good question. How do you perceive failure? Right? And the next question after how do you perceive failure? What do you do? What do you do? If you perceive failure like such and such and such and such, what do you do after that? So first, how do you perceive failure? Do one of you guys want to say it? Anybody want to?
I will. I perceive failure as quitting,
That's good.
stopping.
That's remnant.
You'd have to stop. The moment that you stop operating, the moment that you stop standing, The moment that you stop believing and applying, the moment that you stop leading beyond your own pain, loving beyond your own pain, the moment that you stop edifying the culture, you failed. But as long as somebody's still going, I mean, even in lifestyle, it was taught to me years ago that if she's still here, she hasn't quit. I can't quit. What I look like quitting before she does? I used to tell women all the time, "You'll quit before I will. You'll quit before I will." "No, I won't. I'll never quit. I've been waiting for you to come." And that's been the ongoing theme. They usually quit, have always quit before I did, and they
So,
failed.
so let me say this, because that's good. Because in the remnant, we know that the only way you can fail is what?
Not getting back up.
Yeah. So the reason why I think this is very important because there's people out there that are looking and will be looking. And in the remnant, what we have coined is words have worlds, right? Perceptions do too. So when I ask, what is your idea of failure? If you ask that question to the world, it'll probably be 1,000 different answers. It'll be 1,000 different answers. Somebody can think that failure is not making it through school. Failure is not getting a raise. Do you see how broad it could be? And what the idea of failure can do to you as an individual? Because somebody else's failure is not nobody else's failure, right? People on the job, one person is saying their success is to get a raise. The other person is like, well, it's coming, but don't. But the person who feels that way, what world has that person created that the other person is not affected by? Which lets you know that failure is not one thing for everybody. Failure is not one thing to everybody, which is why I said, what is your idea of failure? I know what my idea, I teach remnant the idea, the only way you can fail in the remnant is not get up, right? But when you make it more specific, what's failure in your relationship? Because that failure, the only way you can fail in the remnant is not get up. That's towards our God. But what about your significant other? Let's make it much personal.
Stop showing
Uh-huh.
up. Stop being there.
Oh, you can hear.
Yeah, stop showing up. Stop being there. Stop supporting.
That's failure.
Yeah, that's a part of it.
Okay, I just want to know what I mean. In a relationship, your idea of failure is stop being there, stop showing up, and what?
Stop being who you know you're supposed to be in your relationship.
Kind of broad, but okay.
I got the definition pulled up right here.
The definition.
Because I don't want the world's definition, but we can go ahead.
So the world's definition says the omission of a required action, a lack of success, like you said, some people have different, or an inability to perform a normal function. It represents a shortfall, a deficiency, or a personal thing that falls short of expectation.
Okay. So the reason why that's it's generalization. But let me give you a scenario. You ready? Naya's idea of failure concerning me is different from Dove's idea of failure concerning me. How I show up to Naya is specific to who she's become in her life, with point of references that have made her who she is. Her consciousness about who she is and how and what life is. So me showing up to her is me being aware of those things about her and those things about her and those things about you and you and you, right? So I have an idea about everybody in the remnant, and what is failure to me towards you as an individual that might not have nothing to do with another person as an individual. That's heavy.
So is it like right as far as the expectations that you have for a person?
Hold that.
If you have different expectations for each individual, that tying into what you would consider failure
Mhm. A little
for
bit.
that person.
Yes, it is about, because see, it's just not my expectation of you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I'm thinking, see, when it's my expectation, it is not me looking at you, like Dee said, having success dealing with you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Versus having success dealing with her.
Mm-hmm.
So, in order for me, this is what's heavy. In order for me to be able to show up to you without failure, I have to be extremely broad.
Mm-hmm.
Because me showing up to you without failure is different from Dove. It's different.
Mm.
And I have to be extremely broad to understand the difference.
Okay.
Because if I don't understand the difference, I'm going to show up to you the same way I showed up for her, and it's not going to have any effect. I will be failing you. Mm. Do you see that? Right? So, so, so now when you think about it, look how broad the idea of failure becomes. Then failure becomes individualized and not corporate. It doesn't fit everybody the same way.
Because if you do that, you can miss something.
You're gonna miss something.
You are. That makes so much sense.
So if nobody gives you the information to think that way,
Mhm.
you're gonna show up that way. You're gonna automatically think showing up to him is the same way of showing up to him. Showing up to her is the same way to showing up to her.
Mm.
Eliminating that person as individual is different from that person. Eliminating that they have different points of reference that have shaped who they are. See, in the remnant, the Holy Ghost gives us the ability to be able to be extremely spiritually flexible. You have to be. Dealing with your brothers and sisters, dealing with your spouses, you have to be extremely flexible. Because if you're not, you're going to be a very bitter person.
Mm.
We have had examples of that amongst us at some time. People showing up the same way, right? I can remember when, this is important, I can remember when Greatness was sharing his testimony, and he never shared it about what he had gone through as a young man and the pain that he had incurred as a young man. And it was so gripping, painful, that he had never had the space to be able to share that. And someone else was not broad. And when you're not broad, because the broad considers everybody comes from different places,
Mm.
and the broad considers different point of references. The broad also considers people's feelings because of it. But that individual showed up the same way, inconsiderate of that knowledge, inconsiderate of the knowledge that people are coming from different environments and different experiences. And they are not flexible. And if you're not flexible, what are you? Frigid.
Riddle.
Extremely frigid.
Rigid.
Rigid. Extremely rigid. See what I'm saying? And what that says something about the individual, right? And it'll play out in every area of one's life. With your brother, with your significant other, with your children. Right? So again, looking at it from that perspective, have you showed up like that to your significant other? Oh man, we in there. Huh? Okay.
Clip on you.
I think this is something that along the way this is something we've been higher.
Because it's gonna rub up against your tie. So tie it on the outside. On the outside of it's okay.
He's good. That's good.
No, because it'll rub up against the tie. Just tie it on the outside. Right here. So it's totally away and there's not a problem. Bam.
Okay.
Okay.
Unc says, I got to do it the right way.
That's okay. Well, first I like to start with what's your idea of failure? When it comes into our relationship.
Okay.
No, you can start right here.
Okay.
You can get it.
Well, I was thinking while Uncle was talking, I was thinking, obviously, how I am towards Rafi here. And when it comes to failure, for me personally, it's when I change my disposition towards him. And really not too long ago, probably, let's say a couple of weeks or so ago, I was doing that a lot. And let's say he says something, we're having a good day. We're like in the car, we're listening to music, we're good. Like, we're good, having a good day. And then he can say one little word in a certain tone or say something in a certain way. And my disposition from me being good switches just like that into just shutting down, becoming silent, maybe not wanting to distance myself towards him, away from him or anything. So when I do that, and the reason why I think it's a failure, because it's just me going back to that worldly self, me trying to be avoidant of dealing with just being hurt. It's a bit weird. There's a lot of things clustered into it, but I just, obviously the Most High, as a remnant woman, he doesn't want me obviously to be like that, going back into the world. I'm like a year plus in now, a couple months in now into the information. And so just going back to that, to me it's failure, because it's like I'm so deep in it. I know the information, but I'm still easily just like that with a snap of a finger. I'm just constantly just going back into that because I'm like, because of what he says or what he does, I allow myself to switch my attitude, switch my disposition towards him. And so,
Okay, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Because there's a really major point here. You said that your failure is switching up your disposition. That's the secondary. Let's go to the primary of why you switched up your disposition. Because you said because of what he did, that's another. But the primary is that I want to cover right now is that you think he failed you. Did you see there? Do you see that? Which allowed you to have the disposition, or you wouldn't have the disposition. You felt he failed you. And that's your idea of failure. You see how heavy that is? Now think about it like that, huh? Yeah, because as long as the enemy can hide things, right? And like cover them up, you'll never really be able to see it, to defeat it and fight it. See, now you can say, you can, it's like you could now judge it according to all the other things that you consider what successes are. And then all the things that are the successes, and you have the one thing that you consider is the failure, and you're willing to jeopardize all of the successes for the one, your perception of failure. That be the biggest trick right there. Because now that you could see it, you could see that that's not even worth it. Because see, you have to go to the end of that thing. You think he failed you when that happens. And you react to the failure that that you perceive. It's your perception. Anytime there's been a reaction in a relationship, it is because you think somebody has failed you. You think somebody has failed you. But you never think about it like that. All you think about it is that you're just angry with that person. You're mad at that person. Right? They made you feel a certain kind of way. No, that's the secondary. The primary is you think they failed you. And your reaction is based upon that. That's the root. So then now that we understand the root, you can really reason with that thing and reason with yourself, because some people feel like, man, I don't know why I keep doing it. I feel like I can't help myself, because you ain't dealing with the root. You'll never be able to help yourself if you keep hiding. You can't call it out. You can't focus on it. You can't say, man, I put that much energy into this thing. I think he failed me. You don't even want to think about it like that, because you don't want to feel like status stream. It's like Dove or Anaya saying, and me bringing that to their attention. No, you think I failed you? No, I don't. Oh, yes, you do.
Because that's devastating. But but that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes a lot of sense when you say that, because the first thing we do is we go to the person next to it, closest to us, right? And we blame that. Like, he's closest to you. You guys are the only ones. So everything is he failed you, whether you getting something or receiving it the way you want to, and you're not getting it the way he wants you to get it, or it could have been what he didn't say to you, right? That could make you feel like you was failed. It could be what you don't think you're getting, right? And those things you could feel like somebody's failed you, because that's what the enemy wants, because it puts dissension in there. Because at some point in time, you're going to get to a point where you're going to feel like this person is not giving you what you need and what you want, and then you're not going to be there no more, because that's going to the end of it. I could see that clearly because I've been there so many times, not realizing that that's what I was doing. Like lack of trust, lack of all those things that create that dissension in what you feel like you don't have, that you want the way you want it, right? Because you want it nice, or you wanted this, or you're not being understanding as to how he's trying to give it to you, right? And you're taking it personal. So now it's like he's failing you instead of you failing to understand him, right? And I've been there many a time.
So
Or a situation.
yeah. So let's give it some more. Let's broaden it out a lot more. And I want you to finish after this. Let's broaden it out a lot more. Could I be a leader with that idea of failure? I'd be stopping all the time. I'd be stopping all the time. Okay, well, what is it that I possess that keeps me from reacting and, like you said, shutting down? Or this question, why don't I perceive it as a failure? Why don't I perceive it as a failure?
Because of grace.
Because it hasn't stopped. You gotta continue.
Mm-hmm.
But you did stop because
now you remember, hold
Yeah.
on. You remember from the beginning as a hint, right? I said that I know they require different things. So I'm already heck abroad, right? So I'm dealing with everybody in the remnant, men, women, right?
So it's like you're dealing with them where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what that is?
Mm-hmm. Did I deal with you where you was at?
Did you just look at me like I was small? What?
Go ahead,
The
baby.
question you just asked.
Mm-hmm.
What did you ask again? You said
I said, why? Go ahead.
why. Yeah, why you never see it as failure?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Is it because you deal with people where they're at?
I do deal with people where they're at.
Knowing that people require different things.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe, yeah, I know that they require different things, but maybe I'm looking at everybody with faith.
That's why I'm saying that grace, like to understand, because to learn to love beyond your pain, you would have had to experience pain and that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when you've gone through that and you know what you needed,
Exactly.
you
That's
can
exactly what I was
extend
going
the
to say
grace
next.
to your wives or to the remnant.
Look at this guy.
Knowing extra.
Go ahead.
Knowing that there's a process and they're going through the process. The only way that you're gonna stop with them is if they stop wanting to go through the process, right? If they're stop receiving, because sometimes it might be everything ain't gonna feel good, right? But when you learn, just like I learned with him, the way he talked to me, that's why I always tell people, I'm gonna give it to you the way I got it. Because that's how I got it, right? Now, how he give it to anybody else or how he showed up with whoever else is different. But I can only give it the way I got it, right? So when Rafa is talking to you, you know he love you. I know he love me. I know he wants the best for me. I know he know what it takes. And I know that he loves me and he knows I trust, his leadership and who he is before the Most High. So over time, it allowed me to take the defenses down and stop being so defensive and like it hurting my feelings because he says something to me a way that I would have rather him say a different way. But at some point, it's like if he enables you and gives it to you sweet, it's going to be worse for you because it's gonna take you longer to get it, because you're gonna feel like, oh, he's enabling you, right? It's just like how I talked to daughter that day when I said, no, this is what it was. You was doing this, you was doing this, you was doing that. Don't you have to see that thing for what it was? Sometimes you just can't be nice about it, right? It's just like sometimes when we was in indoctrination, somebody won't get it unless you add a few cuss words to it. Then it'll snap them up out of whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it's like that right there. If you know who he is to you, you know he wants the best. You know he's washing you in this word. At some point, when are you going to trust him? When are you going to trust his leadership? When are you going to trust that he loves you? And sometimes things can't be nice, especially if it's repetitive, right? Because the not nice comes before dropping you where you at to let you get back up to where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, but
Right?
nice is perception too.
It is.
That's perception. Some people, they could consider nice in any tone that you speak it in.
Because I know
I'm just
if
saying
you tell
you
me,
can't.
oh, is that how you feel, huh?
Yeah, you can't.
I'm gonna be like, oh, that was wrong.
Yeah, you can't. You can't think about the nice thing, right? Because
Mhm.
nice to everybody else is different again. But once you understand how you're viewing him, right? Like if Naya and I and I'm telling her, or we having a conversation that was like that, I would just say to her, "You think I failed you? You know how heavy that is? You think I failed you?" So everything that I've been to her is reduced down to that moment. Is that who you want to show up to be? Because that's what I'm gonna say. Is that who you want to? Everything that we have, you're gonna reduce it down to that? That's heavy. Continue.
Go ahead.
I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
I remember where I left off, but that basically was just it. I was just gonna add that it's just me when I switch up my disposition towards him and also act out of my role as a remnant woman. That's pretty much what I was gonna say.
Mhm.
That was
All
pretty much
praises.
Cool. Because
You are absolutely growing. It is all in your face. It's in your disposition. It's supposed to be a little challenging, but you are growing and developing, and it shows.
All praises.
Continue to move forward.
perfect segue, because like my idea of failure is like not growing.
Mm.
And we had a situation like probably like 2 days ago where we went to Walmart, and because you don't drive, I had a plan. I have a plan for us. So I do the shopping, she does the cooking, right? And I go inside typically because I'm faster and I just know where stuff is, or I'm just quicker in the store. But because I want her to eventually drive and eventually to be able to do those things, then well, we go in the store shopping together sometimes, right? And in the previous times I've told her, look at the app, the Walmart app, and look for this. And that day, like I was like, oh, so I'm gonna go get the shopping stuff for, I think it was what was it for? It was for something, and you go do the shopping for the groceries or something. Go ahead.
Sorry, was this last week or 2 days ago?
It was near.
I'm just trying to remember.
I don't. Yes, right. So she's like, I don't know where it is. And I'm like, yeah, just. Didn't I tell you to go in the app, and then that little thing, what I told her, she was, I pulled my phone. I was like, I'll do it myself. It's all right. Pulled up my phone. This is how you do it. You have to download it on your phone, so on and so forth. And then that set her off, right? And we went back in the car, and I was like, what's up with you? What's going on? And then you said, do you remember?
I believe I said something along the lines. I think I was quiet, or we was going to the car, and he opened the door for me. I got inside the car, and he handed me the groceries. And to me, I'm like, why did he give me the groceries? So I just put them in the bag. But how I do stuff, I am a little heavy-handed, so it did look a lot like I was like upset about the groceries and put it roughly in the bag. He was
Tossed
like,
it
what's? He's
in
like,
the
why'd
back.
you do that? Yeah,
What?
yeah. He
Come
was
with the
like,
truth.
I did ask why he gave me these groceries in the
And
first place.
But yeah, and then he came back on the side. He was like, "Why are you being like that? Like, what's wrong? Like, And I'm like, nothing. And then he was like, "No, like, what's wrong? Like, obviously there's something like you just toss things." And I'm like, that wasn't about that or anything. I actually just tossed the groceries in the bag, but when we were inside, it seemed like you were trying to embarrass me and act like I didn't know what I was supposed to do, because when I in the store, I asked about something, like where is something, but to me I'm talking out loud. So in the end, the situation, in my perspective, it was a misunderstanding and it obviously was on me, but to my perspective in the moment, he was like, well, just take out the app and you search this up. Like I was like, I didn't know what I was.
Did you?
No, like I
Oh.
wasn't even thinking about the app. I do have the app, whatever. And obviously, in another situation, if I was alone, I would have did that. I just didn't think of it in the moment for some reason. And so the way he came off, it seemed sarcastic, like he was trying to be funny, I guess. And so in the car, I just told him that it seemed like he was trying to embarrass me, and I didn't appreciate that. I didn't like that. And in the moment, I probably came off as emotional because I was
Defensive.
defensive.
Sure.
Yes. So
Well, them is young workout relationship thing. I didn't think nobody could be worse than Naya.
oh boy.
Please.
Girl,
Oh,
wait,
boy.
hold on. Yes, when we first got together, that girl was mad every other hour. Come on, honey. Bring the truth. Honey, come on. Tell your story for real.
Look, go
Come on,
downstairs.
Naya.
smile at
Tell
me.
her, make her feel that she wasn't the only one. Because she can see the finished product now, but what you take me through?
Tell the truth and shame the
I just
devil.
want to be very clear before you say this. I ain't really seen Unc wore out too much in my life.
He was looking wore out. Wait a minute. He was looking.
because you was wearing me out with them
Oh.
that bipolar stuff.
Double dose.
Oh,
Double
How far
triple.
we get? We forget.
I'm like, yeah, because she was like, please, like,
Then both of y'all on Starbucks.
Cause you
Both of y'all
said-
got double shots.
no, go ahead.
Because you
Now,
said that like I was like
you admitted how
terrible.
terrible you was. Awful. Terrible is a nice word. Naya, come on, man. How many times was you in the circle?
every other week. literally. Family Monday, yes. Family Sunday, yeah. Every other week.
How
It
you
seemed
forget
like
that? See, when you just get into that new level, you just be acting like I wasn't none of
because
that.
like no, because you could know ways that you would act, but when somebody else be like, for you to say how you said it, it was like, well, dang, like yeah, nobody was worse than.
No, nobody was worse because I didn't deal with that.
We can go back to the chat. We got chat.
What?
We can go back to chat.
Oh my God!
Naya would go downstairs smiling and
Come
Oh.
up and it was on and
I was
cracking.
like, what
She
happened?
walked by and say nothing.
Like,
I'm trying to work her through it.
Yeah.
You forgot all that?
Yeah.
Naya?
got that night.
I was like that. I
Oh, okay, the
was.
truth coming.
Yeah, I was. I was.
What was you going through?
Um,
No, it wasn't
Nice
that.
kid.
It sure wasn't that.
I would say
It was that old disposition. But I'm saying, I'm just showing that
mhm.
that what you're going through can be overcame. Excuse me, because she was the worst. I'm telling you. But I was quick to deal with it, but it wouldn't please. Listen, how she forget, Manaz? How many times we over there at the restaurant? Oh God.
We talk about it in the family.
No, did you really forget like that? You just so different.
No.
Oh my God. Several times.
And you were
What?
standing firm in it too. You don't remember
Oh,
that?
that girl.
I was. I
Yeah,
do.
you were.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You don't like looking at it?
Standing strong in that piece.
I mean, that ain't nothing new. People stand strong when they
You gotta talk
feeling
about
whatever
it.
and they feel
I just want
justified
you
in
to
how
be
they
able to
feeling.
relate to,
Yeah.
to your sister over
Minister.
here. Let her know.
Mhm.
Because now you to finish past that. But how'd you do that? She going through it now. And just that's how you overcome by the blood of the Lamb and word of your cup. Help her. How did you do it?
Help me.
She needs to be empowered.
Well, let me go back through there.
Seems like an eternity ago.
But it does though. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, when you think about it, it was fast though.
Mm.
Because what did you do?
So,
You got to go all back and down through
She's
there.
like, dang, I used to hate
That's a
looking
lot,
back.
huh?
Oh,
I mean, okay, if I'm starting from my beginning, right?
All right.
And me having to, well, first of all, I just had that disposition even in the world, right? That was just nothing new for me. The shifting and the changing and the quiet tantrums,
She said the quiet and
the quiet tantrums, because I
know,
wouldn't
but I'm
be.
saying I've never heard a term like that. That's a beautiful term. The
Yeah.
quiet tantrums.
Yes, them quiet tantrums, and yeah, that was nothing new for me, right? Um, and I would feel comfortable being in those spaces, and I'll feel justified in those spaces. Whatever I would think about or, conjure up in my mind to, um, to justify how I felt, why it was as serious as it was, and you know, and I would just hold on to it, right? And fast forward coming into our relationship and having to adjust to everything it came with, right? And there will be times of whether it would be jealousy that would have me act in a way what I would act, or it would be like if I felt something was unfair, or just stuff like that, right? And um and having to grow out of that space of isolation that I was always comfortable in, right? Having to, and for it to be something so comfortable for me and like a safe place for me, and having to step out of that and just, having to grow, right? And just having to really fight through those things. And we've had plenty of conversations of um you know uh what it stems from, and just really getting to the bottom of what it was, why I was acting the way I was acting, and all of that, and the consequences of, I don't know if I can say the consequences, but what it would look like if I don't grow, right? at times being in the world, I will always think that I was a prize bigger than a program. And
the program. Get some bars around
you know, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, all of that. And feeling that, having that same disposition here and really having to get checked about that. Right. And it's like, well, yeah, you're, um, you know, keep showing up like this. And it's not even him making making a decision, but really the consequences from the Most High.
Mm.
That's what really, um, shook me to where it's something that, when you would say yourself, well, it would be out of my hands. It is nothing that I would be able to do about it. And it would be, from the Most High, right? Just move you right on out the way. And um, and it really made me think about that's what really made me want to fight and want to stand, because it's like when I just look at everything, looking at my past, that old person, and really just seeing what the Most High has done for me, right? Being in a space where I was, in the beginning before we got together, operating and, just really just being, right? And for him to bring me into a space where, for him to bring me, how can I put this? Like, place me in the blessing, right? And having to really ask myself, well, how bad, knowing how I felt, because it's important to not just look back at that old person, but how you felt,
Mm.
you know, being that person, those spaces that you were in, and the, situations, and your mental and all of that, emotional. And that was a disaster, right? Just all across the board. Where people say spiritually, mentally, physically, all of that, right? I was a disaster. And um, so looking back, not only at that person, but again, like I said, how I felt. And when I look at what I have now, how I feel now, seeing that transition, from death onto life, and how that feels, and um, and those facts, right? Of knowing, okay, well, you might want to, you might feel a way about this, and that, but what are the facts? Knowing who you're dealing with, right? Having that advantage of being able to, first of all, already knowing the kind of man he is before we even got together, right? Just watching him for probably like over like a year, maybe 6 months or something. Yeah, like a year, and um yeah, so not um yeah, so again, just really having to sit with myself, and it's like being in the space where when I just look at, like I was saying, where the Most High has placed me, but it's like what he thinks of me,
Mm.
right? For him to put me in the position that he has placed me in at the time that he did, and I'm just like, okay, well, are you going to throw all of that away just because you want to feel a way about something, or because you feel like you want your way with this or that? Do you really want that old life more
Mm.
than what's been given to you?
Mm.
Right? Because that's pretty much what that is when when you're reaching back to that old person, it's like I was saying before, Naya wouldn't know what to do in Queen Naya's position, right? And I would keep reaching back. It's like I'm trying to find that old person to deal with a remnant situation, right? When she has no point of reference of that, and yeah, so that's what that be, and you have to really um yeah, just see that for what it is, so I wasn't before. It seemed like I was trying to, yeah, just like reach back to those old feelings, to as if it was like situations I've dealt with in the past, right? And just like whatever situation was presented in front of me, I wasn't thinking of it as the moment I got into my feelings. I wasn't dealing with it as a remnant woman with the information, knowing that, okay, the Most High allowed this is for me to learn from or to conquer, but it's for me to conquer, period, right? And but I would go back to my old ways of what the situation looked like and how I would have dealt with it before. And that was causing the distance, and it was just causing disaster. Yeah, it was causing disaster. And it's like when I think about it, it's like, you know, I had to go through it because although I had the information, I didn't come ready made to him, right? There was still things that I needed to learn being a wife, never, just learning that, right? Um, actually learning my husband, not just from what I thought of you being my leader first, still my leader, but yeah. Um, but just from not having that intimate relationship, right? So, yeah, just having to grow through all of that, and not, yeah, just wanting to be a grown woman, a woman, because that's something that I've always wanted. Growing up, I didn't have a woman figure that I could look up to, and that's something that I've always wanted, right? So the Most High has now placed me with, here I am, back to my culture, getting information of what a woman is and what the Most High say a woman is, what it looks like, and now being in a space where I am that woman that I've always wanted to look up to, right? Becoming that, So yes, so
You like believe
know,
this, man? I mean, can
yeah.
you believe this? Do you
Mhm.
remember?
Yeah, and it's refreshing for me because when I think about, just where I am now versus in how I can just the confidence that has grown so much in me, right? Because before, it's like I was saying in my very first testimony when we got to Seattle, and I was saying I almost didn't make the jump because I didn't want to have to talk in front of people. I thought that I didn't know what the crowd was going to be. I'm thinking we was going to be outside on some kind of podium or something. And we just talking to all of Seattle, right? And yeah, I was like, oh man, I don't want to be, I don't want to have to do that, right? But having to, and it takes me back to, I think we were having a conversation about that. Even then, I didn't see it as, because before it was like my feelings was my God, right? But when I look back, even at that insecure girl who still went past her feelings and made the jump, basically saying, like, it's not about how I feel, I'm willing to do the work, right? So if I could have that disposition then, with all the insecurities and the low confidence, and then how much more now? So why go back into that space of as if it's something that's so difficult or I can't do it, right? Because I could, and that's why I'm here today.
Let me
Right.
introduce you to my wife, Queen Naya, please.
Yes.
Amen.
Yeah. Mhm. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Thank you, baby.
Yes,
That was powerful.
it was.
You
Yeah.
got that? Amen. Who's next?
It'll be right there. Should be fine right there. My
One
perception.
moment. You want this one?
Who's gonna go next?
Oh, okay. So my perception of failure in my relationship with my wife, it was built up, and just follow me. It was built up through, because mind you, we were both we came into the information. I came to the information first, and then she came into the information. So is certain expectations that I may have had prior to the information, ways that I expected her to be within our relationship, within the indoctrination. But as I came into the information, my consciousness has to develop in order for me to have the proper proper perception of what failure is before the Most High, and how it should be in my relationship. And like we say, every woman doesn't come ready made. So that perception had to be built up through, okay, I know this is how she is to be and how she's been this entire time. And like I was saying, as my consciousness developed in the information, I now have the perception of how I should be expecting her to show up within the relationship. So, with it being built up, and when she operates a certain way that is outside of how I expect her to operate, you can bring the correction, right? And when you first bring that correction, because I know in the past I have, I probably corrected you about something and I like snapped about it, but it's like I didn't know, so that's something that I have to work on, and really meet her where she is in that, because I love her. So it's like don't do that, what you doing, it's like it's that vibe. But it's like it's difficult to bring the correction like that, because you have to bring the clarity, you have to bring the understanding to why she is operating outside of the expectation. So once you do bring that correction the right way to her, and she has that clarity, she has the truth about why she shouldn't be operating in that. And if it comes about again and you bring that correction again, and that behavior continues to persist, that's failure for me in my relationship right there. You know what I'm saying? And that's what could crumble what we have, because at a certain point, the man gonna have to show up. You know what I'm saying? So, that's my perception of that, man. That's my perception.
There's no amount of money that can produce what this man and these men have given me. I'm free. Did you hear that demonstration of the remnant, man? That's what 413 was all about. What do you mean?
You can leave it there. That way I don't do that anymore.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're done.
Yeah, you can go ahead. That's it.
So that was my immediate answer of what does failure look like in our relationship. because I know that expectation that he has of me and what he's instilled in me. So I know how I have to come. Like there's that certain, like, I can't be showing up like who I've left behind. Because just like what Naya was saying, if I'm making that transition and that jump out here to show up for not only for Key but for the Most High, most importantly, I can't keep moving forward. We can't keep getting promoted if I keep reaching back. So knowing that standard, that expectation he has, and knowing that correction will come, that wall will be there. I'm not even trying to get close to that, trying to hit that, because it's just, yes, like now I remember at first taking that correction, man, I would be like, dang, like, and my feelings about it. I'm like, he got something to say like every other day. What am I like doing wrong? So, but now it's laying down the law, seriously. But now it's, I don't even want to get there. And if it does come, right, I now know with that growth how to take that, right, and to really develop in that, because it's just not excusable for me to keep acting a certain way or being how I want to be, because he's given me, we know the information how we should be coming, how we know to be before our husbands, before the Most High. Like, just because I want to like operate in my feelings that day, it's that consistency day in and day out that I need to be coming, as a wife, because that's something that was like given to me. That's something that the Most High values, right? So again, I can't show up as that old woman, because that's me failing you. That's not we can't move forward in that light when we have like we have this work to do. So I wanted to actually read a scripture that talks about operating in your flesh and your carnal mind. This is Romans 8:13 AMP. For if you are living according to the impulses of the flesh, you are going to die. But if you are living by the power of the Holy Spirit, you are habitually putting to death the sinful deeds of the body. You will really live forever. And we know within our obedience and submission that we have our eternity. So we got to keep at that and keep being the person that you have instilled me to be, that woman, that new woman, the woman back to my original culture, the woman that the Most High is pleased with, and you are pleased with in that.
Okay.
Look at that remnant. I'm so free. Are you serious?
The woman looks just like
Ain't no question about it.
All praises.
You
All
see my
praises.
remnant representation around here. The receipts speak for themselves. That's freedom. Go ahead, Greg. Okay.
I think my husband wants me to start it off.
I'm curious on
What I see as the topic. There's been multiple points in our relationship where we've sat on the edge of the bed together, sat on the couch, looked at each other, and looked at each other as if we have failed us. It's came up that distance, that space. We'll go days without saying a word to each other. And it's a horrible feeling. As of recently, I thought that I had reached a point where I had killed that old woman. And I didn't, because I had continued to allow her to come back up, continue to allow her in, continue to allow her to kill and destroy everything that I have worked so hard for and that we have, right? So I think when we were, in Houston. That was a month ago or so. We had a real in-depth conversation about that. And even then, I'm trying to kill her. And I had to rip her out, slice her down the middle, set her on fire, and get out. Get out. I don't want nothing to do with that. She doesn't deserve any part of the blessing that I am, that I embody, that the Most High continues to instill in me, in the life that we are building. Everything that you have put into me, she don't deserve any part of it. So that's done. And any time that we have had those conversations, because any little thing, that's a failure to me. I failed my God, I failed my husband, I failed myself, and I'll just be in that feeling horrible about it.
Every little thing.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
That it doesn't matter how big or how small, I still consider that a failure, an ultimate disappointment to myself, to the Most High, to you. And it's not that I don't recognize it or that I don't know. And that makes it even worse. There are points where I won't see it and you'll point it out, a snappy comeback or me and my feelings about something you said, or if I'm saying something jokingly that not considering how that would be perceived by my husband. Me not standing up in my virtue as a woman, as a wife, having that responsibility of how I need to operate and how I need to speak to you, how I need to carry myself.
I'm not feeling that one.
What?
Get the mic, sir, so we can speak.
Oh, we ready? We ready? We were here. Yeah. I'm not feeling that one because, mistakes happen, so on and so forth. But that's not where the foundation of that failure comes from. Because now, when you do something or you misspeak or whatever the case may be at the time, then there is correction. It's that what you do with the correction that I consider to fail.
Me not taking the correction.
And then with you not taking it, what else do you do?
Be combative. Tell my why. There's always a reason why I did this, why I thought this way. And you don't want to listen to any of that.
Mm-hmm.
And won't.
Mm-hmm.
And that it should be and is.
Don't go past that.
The and won't.
That part right there.
The and won't is the.
No. Unpack. That's so heavy. I don't want you guys to go past that.
The need to explain.
No, not the need to explain, but the failure is not the correction, but what you do with the correction.
Mm-hmm.
That's
absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Because we had a situation last week, and I forgot what class it was after, but during that class, I had wrote down some bullet points on what I got from the class and how I know my wife. So after that, because we was going through some. After that, I was waiting for her to come because I was in the living room. I was waiting for her to get out the room, come and take some accountability.
So she comes out. It was some. She wasn't taking it then, but I brought her over, sat her down. We had a conversation, and I forgot how the bullet. I forgot the words of the bullet points, but it was the uh, feeling attack. It was the not taking accountability, and it was the holding on and looking back. That part right there, of course, failure happened, even though just men falls might not be utterly cast down, but he get up 8. But that's one thing that I see that I can look at that failure. I can call that as failure because as somebody falls, he can get up, but what are you doing when you see the fall? Are you going to sit up there and hold that and harbor that and use that and carry that with you till tomorrow? Or are you going to, you know what? That was a mistake. Give the grace and let it go. That was one of those things that if I say, if you're driving the car, get out of the car and say, hey, you're going a little too fast. You say, oh, I remember yesterday you was going 200 miles an hour. You know what I'm saying? So
Is that true?
The car don't even go 200 miles an hour.
No, but I would say that. I think I would justify why I was going fast. I wouldn't put it onto you.
Murray.
Which is wrong.
Murray.
But I don't look at you
Murray.
like that.
Murray.
Mm-hmm.
Murray. We didn't just know. And this is the say it again.
Justify why I was going fast.
Put it on you, is what you said.
But not saying it's because you did it.
I understand that. What I'm saying is when there is some correction towards you, you'll sit there and say, okay, but what about you?
Yeah, you always say that. I'm deflecting. I'm not putting it onto you. I think that's
how are you?
Because that's me.
What is? How are you deflecting? If you put
so
me
the way
into
that
your correction,
the way that I speak to my father, speak to my mother, the way that I've continued to speak is in defense. Is that there's always a reason why. It's that I'm not just dumb or stupid that I'm thinking this way. This is why I thought this way. This is why I did it.
You remember what I...
And this is why I'm right.
You remember what I said? You remember what I said, why I won't listen to your why?
Because the why doesn't matter. Because what was done.
And I know where you're operating when you're given the why.
And by not taking accountability.
Not taking accountability. You're trying to take that away and just express this so I can get some understanding, and you'll throw some 2s and 4s on. I don't care about it.
It sounds like it was the snake.
What do you mean?
Well, God came to Eve. She done did.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was the snake.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that sounds like to me.
But she had brought up the Houston situation. We was in a car. We was driving somewhere, right? Where was we going? North Italia. And on the way there, we were having a disagreement about something. I forgot what it is. But as we're getting there, we're driving there, we're about to park, and we were going through it the whole way there. And then as we get there, she was like, I don't even remember what's going on.
And that's real. I'm like, how do we even get here?
It was just like
because we're in devastation. Everything's over. Everything's done. I'm like, it's been 3 minutes. What just happened?
And I'm sitting here trying to get her to understand this is why. But when we got there, she was like, I don't even know how we got here. I said, I know. That old woman came and put you in a situation and left you there, and now now you got to deal with it.
Yeah.
Now you stuck. I'm like, boy. So
looking around like, what? Wait a minute.
Hey, when you guys come up here in these days, it seems like a reoccurring thing. And the reoccurring theme that I see is you want to fight.
Mm.
Cassie, you want to fight.
We got a dog, right? And her name Marie,
Mm-hmm.
right? So well, look at this. Look at this. So we got the dog, right? And she'll get into the trash.
Yeah.
But every time she goes in the trash, there's nothing in the trash for her to eat. But now she got to get her repercussions,
Right.
you know. But then she'll go back in the trash again, and there's never nothing in there for her to eat. But she
Nothing.
continues to do it. So when you because you were spot on, you like the fuck.
Yeah.
But she don't get nothing out of it.
Yeah.
But wait a minute.
So she gets something out
Wait
of
a
it.
minute.
She gets something.
Your dog understands what your dog is doing. You think that it doesn't make any sense that she's going into the trash because there's nothing to eat.
Mhm.
Well, have you thought, have you got broad and tried to figure out why else would she go?
That's what I try to explain, because that's how I think. It's because
You're
she
not
gets
the dog, Marie.
no, it's because she gets left by herself.
Have you thought that about yourself?
Of why?
Why you keep going in there to fight?
Oh yeah.
What conclusion did you come to?
Well, the honest answer is because I want him to listen to me. Is to
Even if you're wrong?
You causing mischief.
well, there's
I know she thinks she's right.
right. But when I am wrong, I do say that I'm wrong.
But you give an excuse.
Give a
No,
why.
not
You
always.
give a why.
Of why.
You give a
But
why.
I do say that when I'm wrong.
Huh?
I do say
Just
when
like
I'm
you.
wrong.
Just like you.
But there are
You give an explanation.
not every time of why. If I know genuinely, full-heartedly that I'm wrong, I will absolutely say that.
But your problem is being convinced that you're wrong.
But it's when I know I'm right and he knows he's right. And we've discussed
Somebody
that
think
with
they
you
right.
guys many times.
Mhm.
When I could have clear evidence of this is
Why
correct.
do you keep on having to feel like
But-
you have to
Trying to get to the mic.
prove?
Oh, you going next, son?
Yeah.
Okay,
Why do you keep having this thing that you have to prove that you are right?
Come out of her childhood.
Because I learned that a long time ago. I was that way, previous relationship, previous life. I might not have had this information, but he used to say, yeah, you talk good, but you can't convince me, right? Because whatever I'm feeling, I'm going to make you believe that I'm right. Because your whole thing is, it don't matter. Because you're saying I'm right, and then you're saying he's right. So now your right is trying to fight his right.
I'm
Why?
saying we both think we're right.
Why though?
And I would have everything laid out because I want to explain it. I want to sit down and put out all the facts and the bullet points. And he's like, no, I'm right. I don't want to see your facts. I don't want to see your bullet points.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part of submitting to my husband, trusting the Most High, trusting in him, that even if I am right and he's wrong, knowing that what?
Build it. Come on, wait for this build up. Come on.
But this is another thing.
Hold on.
Wait, you interrupting Cassie, man.
Come on.
Knowing that if I truly am, then the Holy Ghost will reveal that to him. And even if he doesn't, and even if that's how it is,
Well, who doesn't?
But you're still doing it.
Ain't no if. There's no if there.
You're saying that, but
I
then you're
have
still
it though.
doing it.
I haven't.
You haven't?
You can't say I'm still. when-
Okay, you haven't.
No,
But you're talking about it.
not right now.
Oh, it was brought
Yeah.
up.
Hold on, don't put that on me.
Okay, but it was brought up. Why are we talking about it?
because he
We
was
were-
talking about it wasn't even last week, 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot's happened in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
There has to be consistency in the action of the new woman or the new man to know that you have it. It can't listen.
So you were just saying that the failure was that part right there. Was
Yeah.
not being that, and you saying her not showing up in what you said, your expectation of when this happens
It was that.
and you go to the secondary,
Mhm.
right, instead of the primary, and not operating in that was failure to you, right? And you were
Yeah.
saying that was
But see, I see it differently. I see it all differently. Well, I see it as a jockeying for position, right?
we said that before.
Yeah, I just seen it for a jockeying for position. And, you're deciding that despite what the positioning is and how it works, because it's not just, see, we're talking about remnant here, right? And we're talking about the inheritance that comes along underneath our obedience and submission, lining up under what the Most High expects of us and what comes along with that. So to me, it's a lack of faith in believing that God is going to do everything he says he's going to do within you playing your role in your position. Because see, your problem is you don't want him to win if you think you're right. But the bigger problem is you don't want to be what God has expected you to be before you even get to him. That's the bigger problem. See, because you're making it about him, which is why you're having a resistance. But if you make it about God, it's going to eliminate the resistance, but you don't want to go there. See, you don't want to be accountable to God, right? But you do want to challenge him because you think you're right. But you can't be right to God. So that's a battle you don't want to fight. But you want to fight this battle because you think you could win. Let me lay out the point. Let me lay this out. Let me bring all the facts out and all that. But you don't want to have that battle with the Most High God, because God is going to say to you, be obedient and submit to me whether you understand it or not. That's the point where you lack growth. It is whether you understand it or not. Trust me. Trust me. That's the hard part. Give up your will and trust me. That's what you're struggling with. So now that's the easier fight right there to you. And that's why you continue to have it. And you feel empowered in it. I think you have fun. I think it is something that you enjoy. I really do. Because there's a lot of people who love debating, who love proving their point. They do it for a living. People do it for a living. A lot of girls will argue you down because they love arguing. A lot of girls are sharper just off the wit than guys. A lot of them are. And they like the feeling of empowerment that they could talk their way and present a challenge to a man, right? They love it. It's empowering. It's empowering. But it's not remnant.
Absolutely.
And you have to decide when you're going to grow in that area, or you will continue to have this kind of issues because the wall going to keep coming up.
You want right? You want peace?
And that's why I said it's not happening right now, because
If it happened 2 weeks ago, it's now.
Yeah.
well, we had a class after that,
Mm-hmm.
and I revealed some personal things about our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately after that, I corrected it. I let that go. And since it was already put out there and open, I said, I need your checking account number, your account number, so I can get my check direct deposited into there. I'm taking it up off me.
Amen.
I had to let that go, because as uncomfortable as it was, there was a comfortability in what I was holding on to.
Mm.
And I had that trickled down into multiple areas and has been a continuous issue that has been allowed for years. So, yeah, that has changed. And that was a huge part of my submission, of my freeing, of my letting go, of my trusting in God.
That's powerful.
And I did.
If she do it,
Oh, look at
All praise.
all praise.
Yes.
That's good work. That was powerful.
Really?
Nah,
Yeah, that was definitely beautiful because I think this whole demonstration definitely freed up my lady. We be dealing with the same situation sort of, right? Because we going on 6 months now, and so leading up to this point, you know, I've been pretty gentle with her, right? Like Great said, I come with the correction, and what you do after the correction, that's where the failure coming out. You know what I'm saying? But um, we got to the point where now she's at expectation. She knows what's required. She knows how to operate. She knows what I expect of her. And I've been having to repeat myself about certain things. Last night we had a conversation where, something came up with how she was operating that was contrary to to how I told her to move with the situation. And that snake, like you said, was in her ear, trying to have her find a out, trying to find trying to justify why she was operating the way she was. And I'd be sharp, I'd be on it, I'd be catching it, you know what I'm saying? So she'd be running into that wall. And but it did get to the point where last night I did almost feel like it was failure. I was like, dang, you keep getting a correction. Why is it that you know what I'm saying, are you gonna ever move on it? And then I had to correct myself, like, you gotta keep that faith. You gotta, this information is strong enough to get her through whatever she going through. And yeah, we talked about it, and at the end of that conversation, she was able to see it. She was able to see it. But it's that same thing of where when she would be in the wrong and she would have that correction and how she would move on that, what I'm saying, if she would sometimes allow that snake to whisper and try to find it out, and that to me as a remnant man, and with her being a remnant woman with them expectations, it seemed like a failure. It seemed like a fail. I'm gonna let her talk about it a little bit. What I'm saying? Just will be going through her mind in that process of when you have the correction, when you know the information on how to move, but like what bring you back to that space?
To the space of like my old ways.
Yeah, that old lady will creep back in. Excuse me.
Trying to think my dad just said something to Cassie that that's kind of why I spaced out a little bit, because I was like, wait, I do that, like just the wanting to, kind of, what's that? Not necessarily that, but like he was saying, like find a way out, like find excuses.
Mhm.
And it's I could say, yeah, like it's sometimes I do argue or find a rebuttal for everything, because I know it don't be no argument, but find a rebuttal for everything. Find
That's
a
one thing we
rebuttal.
don't do.
Yeah. But like find a rebuttal for everything, or just try to make it seem like I'm right, as a way out, or like finding excuses. Why do I do that? It's because it's something maybe sometimes I do find entertaining, just because I used to do it before. So it's like I get a kick out of it in a way. But then it's like I catch myself and I'm like, okay, you need to listen to really what he's saying.
How did that work out for you though?
It don't work out at all. It don't work out at all. It doesn't. But just it's like when I know I'm getting I know I'm doing something wrong, and I know I'm not listening to what is being said to me, and now I'm trying to find the excuse. Like last night's excuse was definitely out of, how do I say it? Like you said, the snake was in my ears. Those excuses that was coming,
And I even had to catch myself, and I was like, what did I just say? Like what that just, it came out of my mouth, and I was even like, why did I say that?
Can I say what I think it is? So one thing I know about her is that she know the expectations, and she really want to line up to it, right? She really want to be that remnant woman that I need her to be. And when that old lady creeped in, it's like I can see it even when I'm talking to her, that guilt being there. You know what I'm saying? That guilt of, oh shoot, I'm, you know what I'm saying, I failed, you know what I'm saying? And she be trying to justify or try to, make her wrong right with her words instead of with her actions, trying to, because she hate that disappointment of not showing up the way she supposed to her God. And that's one thing I noticed about her. And it's still a problem, you know what I'm saying? It's still a problem because this is an operation. You can't talk your way out of anything. You got to go through with that accountability. You know what I'm saying? You have to go through with accountability. And so I always remind her that whatever the situation is, I could give you the word, but you have to be accountable to it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Whether I'm not around or, because we don't stay in the same space. And I'm, sometimes I'll be at work. So I give her the word, she's supposed to operate, you know what I'm saying, without me having to be there micromanaging her, you know what I'm saying, because you're accountable to whatever I done gave you. You know, I'm gonna give you the correction. I'm gonna give you what you supposed to know, and I'm gonna make sure it's the truth. You know, one thing I told the Most High, I talk to the Most High all the time, like, give you the wisdom and the information and display to lead my family the way you want me to do it. You know, so I know that whatever correction I give you, it's coming from above. It's coming from above. And that's the thing I'm just working on her with, is just being accountable to that word. She was good in the beginning, but now it's like, I don't know if it's the pregnancy, I don't know. But I'm not gonna let that slide. I'm not gonna give her that out though. You know what I'm saying? Right. But yeah, lately it's like she been running into that wall. Maybe she just trying it. Maybe she's just trying to see if, this thing is brick, you know what I'm saying? And she's seeing, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what we dealing with. That's what we dealing with. Yeah, it's
I
like
think sometimes people's underwriting
Worldly, you ain't got no mic.
no.
I have a mic. Here.
I think sometimes people's underlying worldly indoctrination of their reasons why, cares, needs, and wants, and things like that make them override instructions. So it's like, if I tell you to do this or I tell you to stop doing this, a person is going to have that indoctrinated reason as to why they're doing it. And I don't think a person feels bad until they change, because you have to understand why you're doing it, right? It's like, okay, I see what you're saying, but sometimes, like Cassie or somebody else, like, oh yeah, that makes sense, but this over here feels better, I'm gonna keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Out of not even understanding why you're doing it, because there's something underlying about why you're doing something. Why, just like when we spoke at the house, there's always something underlying that you feel like you care, need, and want within what you're allowing to be given to you, right? The thoughts, the this, the that, the other stuff that's needed for you to feel like you need to operate in your relationship, or why you don't feel like you want to listen. Even though everything is being jeopardized, you still do what you was doing in the indoctrination, because you're telling yourself it may work. This may work. He will understand me. He will understand why I did it. He will understand why I'm allowing it. No, this is spirit over here. And the carnal mind is not subject to the things of the Most High. So it can't live here. So it's spotted. No matter what happened, it's spotted, right? If I do something, it's spotted immediately. And we have to go to those deep underlying things, those cares, those needs, those wants, right? That the enemy is trying to tell you you don't have, is why you keep listening to the enemy. That's why Eve did it. She's like, what? We don't have that? I can get that, right? It's that easy. I could just eat that and I'm good like that. Like, I'm going to be all knowing. And she did it. Right? So those things that you feel is going to be more than what the Most High has for you, because that's what the information is. It's like the like me, the thing that we all just received, like being like-minded, right? And the enemy don't want you to be like-minded. He wants to keep you from being like-minded because he wants to keep you with the cares of the world, right? He wants to continue to tell you you don't have what you want.
Yeah, but
Right?
but it's not only that, honey. What it is also, yes, it's that. But see, Manaz said something that we all know here in the remnant, that no, and it's been mentioned several times, no woman comes ready made.
Mm-hmm.
So you got 6
Right.
months to a year.
Mm-hmm.
So what he said is he has recognized that he has done his part in delivering the information.
Mm-hmm.
Now that excuse that was she was able to have prior,
Mm-hmm. Right.
you can't have that no more. Now
Right.
there's an accountability that has a price to it.
Mm-hmm.
So now
Mhm.
I'm going to let you know now what before might not have carried this heavy weight could carry this heavy weight of separation now.
Most
Now I had to
definitely.
go through the same thing.
Consequences. Yeah.
You know, she had to
Yeah.
go through the same thing.
Right.
So we cannot throw off the fact that when I know you know,
Mm-hmm.
when I know you know,
Right.
when I've heard you repeat it back to me,
Right.
when I know you understand this information and you're doing it, it's because you want to do it.
It's true.
And now you're gonna make me take a position because I'm a man.
Right. And I was
That's
gonna
what
say
the issue is.
that the thing is that when you get with somebody like Kiana, like you guys, like everybody here, like me, like everybody, like Sammy, we've all been through that. Where when you get together, your significant other knows everything about you. What you didn't have, your cares, needs, and wants, the Most High know too. That's why I'm saying you got to be careful. Because right at that mark, where you know everything, and you know that you know, because you had this information before that, and now you have a remnant man to raise you up in the information in a relationship, right? Now the enemy want to come make you think, okay, your 6 months is up. This is when, we about to see what you made out of, right? This is when, are you gonna stand for this information, or you gonna fall? Right? Are you going to let everything be taken from you, or are you going to continue forward? And that's how you got to look at it, like life or death. You know what I'm saying? And not keep reaching back to what you feel like you never had, because it's a lie, right? It's a lie from the pits of hell
But
to say you don't have
but a man
something.
is not about to be worrying about whether she reaching back or not. Listen, I know you know. It's like I told Naya. I gotta tell you what. I'm gonna give you what you're asking for.
Right.
Mhm.
So it becomes a point that you got, as a man, got to start. It's like T said, you got to start making a move,
Right.
right, to
Right.
let the individual know, as much as I care for you, as much as I love you, you don't love you,
Yeah.
and you couldn't love me.
Right. Right.
You couldn't love me
Right.
because you're jeopardizing what we've tried to build. So now, if I don't do nothing, now I'm a punk. So I told now I'm a punk because
Right.
I done told you over and over and over and over again.
Mhm.
Now I'm a punk. Okay, well, say you what? 3 days, me and you ain't gonna be cool.
Mhm.
If you do that again, Naya, it's gonna be 3 months, even though I know you pregnant.
Mhm.
Now I'm the man that didn't talk to my daughter for a year when she was disrespectful to me.
Mhm.
So play with it if you want to, because see, I'm gonna have to stand on my word, whether
Right.
you do yours or not.
Right.
I'm gonna stand on mine.
Right.
That's the consequences.
Right.
That's what I have towards God. There is a
Mhm.
fear of God that I have
Right.
that gives me restraint.
Right.
She ain't got no fear
Right.
because you couldn't have fear and keep doing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because while you're moving along, and you got to be careful. That's why I said it's so important that you discuss your things with people of the Most High, right? Like that. What's that saying? You have people of
Success
discuss their success with other people of success. And if you're discussing and you're over here casting pearls, or you casting whatever, and you not around remnant, and you around people that's not remnant, and you are hearing things and you talking, then you are making yourself be further away from the information, let alone your man.
But a person
Right.
that's been here for 6 months and she's been here before then, I'm not just saying her, I'm talking about in general. You don't get that from me. I'm not about to keep telling you ain't supposed to be talking to. That's some amateur stuff. Like you just got in the remnant or something.
Right.
That's assuming you don't know nothing.
Right.
Well, you shouldn't be talking to nobody that ain't in the remnant, and you shouldn't just listen. If you doing that,
you making allowances.
If that's what you're doing with all the information you have, this is the end result of that. Just like Nah was talking about, I said, listen, the Most High will create a situation that have nothing to do with me that you won't be here. He's done it many a times before. Because if I'm living my life before the Most High, He's not going to allow you to show up to me any kind of way. You feel what I'm saying? So it's not good enough for somebody to say you shouldn't be doing this. That ain't the kind of conversation you having with a mature individual that know this information. Right. The conversation we having is accountability. Right. You did what you want. Why did you do it?
That's what you wanted to do.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
So now we'll deal with it from that place.
Right.
You did because you wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Not because you was tricked up and do it. Not because you slipped and do it. No, you was very aware, and you did that because you wanted to do it. Okay, now the consequences got to come.
So before I get into it, I was before I get into it, it's just perfect because it's all laid out. It's all laid out in the history book, right? You have to remember, and I brought this up night before last night, I believe, about Nabal and Abigail. So you have to know, most males out there, when they first hear this information, they feel empowered by Corinthians 3:18. A woman is to voluntarily submit herself out of a man's ability to protect and his accountability to God, right? The man feels empowered by that. Because when it's broken down to him, this information, it's like if she don't do what she's supposed to do, the Most High create a situation to move her up out of here, right? It's a lot of men watching this class right now that's like, yeah, that's right. You better do what you're supposed to do. But they don't look at Nabal and Abigail. They don't look at the fact that he didn't do what he was supposed to do. And see, this is where you have to trust in your God. It's shown in the culture. Because Abigail, even though her husband wasn't worthy of a wife like her, she still showed up in her duty to him. Because she was doing everything as she was doing it unto her God. Even when David came to kill him, she ran out and stopped him and took bread to him and his men and said, don't do this. You about to become king, and if you do this, you're gonna mess this up. Go be king. Go become the king. And when she went home and told Nabal, and he was a drunkard, right? She went and told him what happened and said he turned to stone. He died. He had a heart attack and died, right? All she had to do was keep doing what she was supposed to be doing and trust that her God, the same God that all these men in here, myself included, is accountable to, would show up without her having to try to force anything. When you try to force, see, I don't think that they like to argue, right? The woman in my life. But I'd be like, y'all must like getting checked or something. Because ain't really too much arguing going on. We're not doing that, right? But I'm like, why do I gotta keep checking you about the same thing? What I've checked you about on the way here?
The gas.
The gas. I get in the truck, I'm driving, I get on the freeway, we got an eighth of a tank of gas. I look over, I'm like, girl, we don't got time to stop for gas. We got to go get gas as soon as we leave here. I done told her about this at least 3 times since I've been here this week. Okay. And we know that it's a safety thing, right? I don't want you, and I've been telling this since way before we had security meetings. Make sure you got half a tank of gas. She does it. Aubrey does it. Jock does it. They've always done it. I had to tell Jock one time, I said, listen, if you're running out of gas somewhere in the middle of the night, you calling AAA. Don't wake me up. coming to get you. Unless my son is with you, don't wake me up because you keep putting yourself there. Now, as hard as that'll be for me, I have to stand on it. I don't want her stranded somewhere, but you keep doing the same thing over and over again. You're going to have to suffer the consequences of it. Now, I'm just going to have to trust my God to make sure that you're straight, right? But you're gonna feel it when you're stuck on the side of the road in the middle of the night, 2 a.m, and some stranger trying to pull up on you. Then all them gun, concealed weapon permit, and training might get put to use. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to look back in our history book because it's been given to us to know and understand that what happened between Adam and Eve, when that happened, it brought a dissension between the man and the woman. And there was it created a space of jockeying for that position. He seeked to rule over her, and she always tried to wrestle control from him. It's been going on like that for a long time, but later on in the scripture, and I can't remember exactly where I have to find it later, it speaks about not being that way towards each other. A man and a woman in a marriage, in a relationship, whatever space that you in, right? Not being that way towards each other.
But then again, after Eve sinned, the Most High said you will be subject to your husband.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it wasn't, you're not supposed to be doing that before, maybe not, but after that, yeah. I was saying that biblically in our culture book, after Eve sinned, the Most High said because of that, we were subject to our husband. Before that, we were not. We were pretty much equal, like in that arena, because we didn't know bad.
That's
we didn't
right.
know bad, right?
Yep.
We didn't know evil. So when we're subject to our husband, that's why we have position in order now. Because of that, the Most High had to establish order. So in that order is necessary because of that.
That's right.
Right. And yeah.
And so I'm glad that you came in with that, Auntie, because it takes me right into one thing that I consider failures, right? One thing that I consider to be failure is me not showing up in the expectation first that I have of her. Me not showing up in that expectation first. How could I dare have an expectation of her that I'm not living up to in my life first? I don't even know what that looks like. I see a lot of guys do it, but I don't know what that looks like for me. How can I require her to do something that I am not first presenting through my actions? I see a lot of guys always get mad and argue with their woman or their wife because they're trying to require them to do something that they ain't never done not one day in their life. And that's a horrible space to be in. But it takes me back to what I was saying in the beginning of the class about how beautiful this is, because every man here is fighting forward after God's heart and his ear. And that's the expectation that we have of our wives. We just want you to be after God the way that we are. That's why everyone look like their husband up here. Every single one of us got a woman that look like us, whether she's growing and looking more like us. Janet just brought up the quote that the adoration is an emotion that rapidly decays upon growing familiar with one's object.
Adoration is a very short-lived passion.
Short-lived passion.
That decays upon immediately growing familiar with this object.
And so the adoration is that high regard, right? That high reverence, that love. Once you get comfortable, then it's about this.
And that's why you got to reintroduce yourself.
You know what I'm saying? You don't really, you don't want him to have to reintroduce himself to you, because then things get sticky, right? Then they get uncomfortable. Then they get rough. And then you think that you're reaching back for the old woman now. You're going to really be reaching back to the emotions of the old woman when the reintroduction come, like, and it's
Well,
going.
it's not a reintroduction. It's just
Yeah.
expanding on this information. The reintroduction is what she'll bring
Mhm.
to reintroduce the remnant woman and not the old. That's the reintroduction.
Yeah.
He's standing on. He being.
Yeah, she just gonna run into what's already there. You know what I'm saying? But just the consequence, because that's where we at right now. Is the consequences.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's because she know how, you know, how to operate.
I already know.
Yeah,
I not know how you operate. You know, I've been in a space though where I've had to remind somebody and reintroduce myself because you must have forgot. Oh, you must have forgot. You might have ran into this wall one too many times. You know what I'm saying? You got a little case of amnesia. Let me help you out. You know?
Let me say this real quick. See how. Some of that. Hold on. So the thing is this, is that I said from the beginning when I tried to explain about what is failure to you as an individual, and here the Holy Ghost showed what I was saying about to her is different from me to her, and how everybody is different, how I deal with all you guys differently, right? And how everybody in their relationship had a different perception of failure for your relationships. That was so profound to see that. Everybody said something different. Well, see, this is failure to me here. D, this is failure to me. Great, you know what I'm saying? Rafa, you know, Key, this is failure to me. That's powerful. That's powerful. That's why you cannot be so, what did we say the word was? Frigid.
Rigid.
Rigid. Frigid is a word too, honey.
Well, rigid.
Frigid is a word.
Rigid is.
Yeah, frigid is a, no, I like frigid better.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
now, my best friend over here, Dre's a wordsmith, so I could go to him and see frigid.
Lacking warmth.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Frigid. I know what the heck I'm talking about around here.
No, you talking about rigid.
No, I was not talking about rigid.
Yeah.
But frigid is a coldness. It's a coldness.
Well, when you originally said it, I was thinking about brittle because it's stiff but easy.
No, bridge is broken. No, I was talking about a disposition of somebody who was frigid.
Yeah, unbending,
cold,
hard, not complying, like not.
No, but what is frigid?
Yielding to the rules.
Yeah, but that's not what I was
Frigid
talking
was
about.
cold.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
You know what the heck I'm talking about? Who's going next?
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to.
Did you want
to respond?
Huh?
Oh, okay. I thought she wanted to
Go
say
ahead.
something.
Go ahead and finish.
No, I thought she wanted to say something.
Oh, okay. Good. Good. Huh? Yes. Frigid. Cold. Funky cold Medina.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
You know, so it's so many pieces to it, and I felt everything that you were saying, because you know, for the last 20 years of my life, I've had to juggle a lot, right? 5 women at one point, 5 homes across multiple states, going from one situation into the next, sometimes in the same day or multiple in the same day, and not dealing with the next person for something that the last person might have did, you know, and having the flexibility to do that, because that's one thing that this is not. When you operating as a man in this information, it's not a one size fits all when it comes to having more than one woman in your life. You know what I'm saying? I know that there's certain things that she likes and she doesn't like. I know there's certain things that Aubrey likes and doesn't like. Now they might have some similarities, right? I know there's other things that Jock likes that neither one of them two like. I know, for example, that Jock, when it comes to fashion, she don't care nothing for prints. She does not care nothing about a print. She wants a plain leather bag. Okay, well, when I was learning about fashion, I was like, initially, cool, right? Until we walked up in the store and I found out that the plain leather bags, cost 3 times more than the prints. I was like, okay, right. But that's how she is. She won't even, you could buy her the nicest print bag and she won't even touch it. And then she'll look at you like it's a problem. Right. But I know that about her. I know that this one here, she'll take some designer stuff, but she really don't care. She really don't care about it. She'd rather have something custom. I know that Aubrey loves the designer stuff, right? She love it, love it, love it. You know what I'm saying? But they all have class, right? They got their moments, we come out the lifestyle and they be trying to flaunt, right? But they know when to put it together the right way. Across all their lives, you can see me in there, and then them develop in their own right. But it would suck to have a carbon copy of the same woman across the board. That for what?
Yeah, you just want a carbon copy of the same spirit.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's beautiful. Nia said, Nia introduced, I love this too. Ooh, I'm about to wear y'all out with this. The quiet tantrum.
Wow.
That was beautiful.
It's heavy.
Right? And I know Jock is sitting here watching right now, probably cracking up. Right? And it's not just women. I've seen men have quiet tantrums.
Well, males.
Yeah, males.
Yeah.
I've seen males have quiet tantrums. And it made me think about there's 2 different kinds of quiet, right? There's a quiet of taking a position where there's nothing left to be said, and there's the quietness of a tantrum, right? I'm gonna make him feel through me shutting down, right? Not arguing and try to explain the details, but just through me shutting down.
It's a rebellion.
Yeah. So
It's rebellion.
and I've experienced all of that, here, there, sometimes I experience it multiple times in a day. It's been times in my life when I'm like, what y'all do? Hop on the phone together and say, we gonna piss D off today, Day? I've experienced that, right? And then navigating that, right? Without compromising. Because me and Unc have a partner. And one of our other loved ones has the same partner. And if he's watching, he'll know who I'm talking about. And our loved one told our partner, man, you've been hanging around them females so much that you're starting to act like one. And he was. And he was. So much to the point that there was no more hiding it. His jealousy, his emotions, his anger, he couldn't even contain it anymore. Unc used to have to call me and check on me out of his concern and love for me. Like when I'd be out with him and we might be on the road somewhere together. You cool, nephew? Yeah, I'm cool, Unc. Why? I didn't have no social media at the time. Unbeknownst to me, Unc called me and tell me, yeah, man, he didn't say it in these words, but looking back at it, so-and-so throwing a tantrum online over here. You know what I'm saying? I think it's aimed at you. And he right next to me in the car. Not great, but he next to me in the car. You know what I'm saying? Not this one. And didn't be dangerous space to be in because it's so unmanly. It's real ugly, and it's dangerous. Now, he didn't know nothing about the culture, not even close, but he had access to this information. He was around Unc when I was still a little kid. He older than me, closer to like probably about in between our age, right? And had full access, but took a position against it because of how he feels and thought he was doing something strong, but was extremely emotional. Could never, ever, ever in his life handle any woman sitting up in here. Couldn't rise to the occasion whatsoever. you know? So to be here amongst these men fighting for their God, fighting to do what's honorable before our God, to see all the women here with the smiles on their faces, right? Because of the love. Sam said a minute ago, you know, it seemed like I feel like he got something to say, right? But she know, and through the way she said it, it's out of love. And that makes the correction that much more acceptable for somebody who's fighting to be right, who's fighting off the indoctrination, the love and the correction, you know, but you couldn't possibly bring a correction of love and care and concern, and you're not operating your manhood because you're not leading. You're not leading. And then it turns back into jockeying for position. And I'm not about to jockey, which the scripture says it's better for a man to be on the corner of the roof of his own home, of the house, than to be in the house with a quarrelsome wife. We're just not about to do that. We're not about to do that. And so I can appreciate, right, more and more every day. It doesn't say that, and don't get it twisted, I still got stuff, normal stuff I got to deal with every day in my house, right? Every day, it be this or that or something else, right? But just a continuous drive from the woman in my life to keep going. Because being right here in this space, it's not an easy space for a woman to be in. With this level of accountability, I tip my hat off to the women in my home and to every woman sitting up here, because it takes a lot to be with any man up here, especially that one. Especially that one right there in the middle. You know, and the fight to want to operate and be everything your ancestors were and more, it just makes me love y'all that much more. I love you too.
What I want to say to that right there is,
Here. Oh, you got it.
we got it. It wasn't a lot for me to submit to who I knew and how I knew he submitted to the Most High. That's what's most important. When you have somebody and you already know without a shadow of a doubt who they are and their submission and obedience to the Most High, you need to submit, because that is your duty as a wife, is to submit. And that means to be submissive to your spouse. Then this is how the Most High, this is how our culture put it. This is Ephesians 5:22-24, which states, wives, be subject. That means be submissive and adapt yourselves, right, to your own husbands as a service to the Most High, right? So the indoctrination be teaching you like he, you know, I'm doing him like, you know, I'm the, like we said earlier, I'm the catch, I'm the this, you know, you gonna be this to me. The indoctrination teach you totally backwards. And when you have a man of the Most High God and you understand this word and you understand our culture and the Most High God, you know that your submission is as unto the Most High. The indoctrination wants you to keep looking at the person. The Most High is trying to get you to look at the God in the person, just like you want him to look at the God in you, right? You got to do the same. But right here it says what you're supposed to be doing, right? So it's not something somebody's trying to make you do. I keep going back to this. And I never even thought this was a thing until the Most High gave him a dream and showed him why I was so heavy, right? Because of my submission and obedience, right? Not my rebellion and disrespect. It was my submission and obedience to him that made me heavy, right? So I was like, wow, I didn't even think that was a thing.
So let me say this. So there's a real big part, because in the world, and even now, it's like a connotation of you gotta submit. You submit, you do this. It's like you do this, you do this, right? So the women already take a position.
Right.
I have mastered mastered creating a space in which a woman takes pleasure in submitting to me. Oh, y'all didn't hear that.
Mm-hmm.
In which a woman, instead of the flip side of that, where there's always a disposition of resistance, how do I get a woman, and every woman that I've ever had, to take pleasure in submitting? Which is why there's never no arguments, no jockeying for positions, and none of that. They actually take pleasure in submitting. How? How does that happen? How do you guys think that happened?
Do your operations.
This one didn't want to listen to nobody in her life prior, but she takes pleasure submitting now. She don't even think about it. She doesn't think about it, I'm submitting. See, that's the problem. She's not walking around here talking about, I'm submitting. She doesn't think, I'm submitting. So a situation comes up, right? And now she gets the hammer. You supposed to submit. You see what the word says? You supposed to submit.
Or it's like a drag to listen to you and do what you say.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
no, it's a drag. Come on.
Not, like it's something unnatural, but like it's something that's a punishment
Right.
for a woman.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You see? Like it's a punishment.
Mm-hmm.
So a woman, you present yourself to a woman and she feel like she has a punishment with this word of submitting to you. That's a problem. But that's how it's been taught.
Mm-hmm.
You submit. I have never been in a fight for a woman to submit, because I will tell a woman, you don't have to. Just live your life and do what you want to do. You just won't be with me. I'm not even mad
That's
at
it.
you. I'm not even mad at you. Right? Value goes way back to what I've taught years ago. The average American woman thinks she's more valuable than her partner. If you ask that average American woman, will she allow her boyfriend to be with another woman, she would literally probably cuss you out. But if you broaden it and ask the average American woman, would you be intimate with your favorite movie star, celebrity, sports figure, entertainer, even though he has a wife? Chris Brown and all them. They'd be like, so the question would be, why would she not allow her boyfriend, but then she would go be with this guy and he has wives and girls and everything? Why? Because she feels she's more valuable than you, but she feels the celebrity's more valuable than her. So people accept more from somebody they think is more valuable. That's how that works. I was on a program with Slim Thug and what's the other guy's name? Mano. And Slim Thug was like, man, I'll never get married because I've been with too many married women. As a rapper, he said, because rappers go and it hasn't been just rappers, it's rock and roll singers, and they'll go and it'll be their fantasy and their dream, right? Yeah. It'll be my one time. I'm gonna be married, but it's my husband, but this is my one time to have my fantasy and my dream. And it's been happening for many, many years. So everything breaks down to value. How does a man make himself valuable like that? Where a woman, you think that those women that see them quote unquote celebrities got a problem with submitting? I'll do anything you want me to do. I'll do anything. Whatever your fantasy and sexually or what, I'll do anything you want me to do. Which shows you how powerful value is. It shows you how powerful the perception of value is. People wonder, how did you have 8 women at one time? Why would a woman leave her boyfriend and then come be with you? And you got 8 women. That doesn't make sense. When I lectured, I tried to explain it. I said value. Value? What do you mean value? Because in the average relationship and the mentality of a man is that the womb is elevated above everything. And she has used her womb to conquer of many men. She has seen celebrities, politicians, whoever, boyfriends and ex-boyfriends, she has seen them compromise themselves. She has seen men do all the likes of anything for her womb. She's seen it. She's experienced it. Right? And so now she sees you, and there's no other point of reference that she has. None. She feels empowered in the relationship. You could say what you want to say, but she know you'll do anything, whatever.
Sound like crazy voice.
She's seen it. She's seen how it is compromised you. She's seen how you've lied for it. No matter who you said you was, how much money you made, you could have been a billionaire, you could have been a celebrity, you could have been whatever, but she's seen you lie to get it. And you might not have lied to her, but you might have, to get it from her, you could have lied to her that you got it from somebody else. And she knows that. Right? But me, listen, I don't even want to have sex. I told you guys before I went to a club, I was telling the girl, the little cute little girl, and we talking all the night and everything. And then before the club about to end, I say, I just want to let you know that the club is ending and there ain't gonna be no sex going on between you and I. She looked at me. What? I just want to let you know, ain't no sex going on.
She got her
She
wheels
probably
rolling.
thinking that's my line.
She got her wheels rolling, thinking she about to conquer something and got shut down.
But then her mind, who he think he is?
Yeah, like
I'm
who
about
said you was getting something?
I'm about to give him some of this. How you gonna tell me?
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's a whole psychological, game. And I wasn't playing. Right? So what I learned from the game is value. I used to tell Dove from the gate, Naya, listen, I've had a lot of beautiful women. You don't have to worry about me going out there sleeping with no women. I just won't give myself over to no woman like that. Because I've had women giving me millions of dollars that were straight gorgeous. So my idea of their value is quite different than the average man. And I'm glad that I learned that. I'm glad that I learned that disposition. Because if the enemy has used women since the beginning to conquer men, I used to always tell my dad, God's going to have to do something. This devil been wearing his men out. The scripture declares by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread.
To be devoured.
Right? And God in the book of Proverbs warns his greatest leaders of her. Flee! Don't mess with that one. Right? Don't mess with that one. So, yeah, if you, from the gate, make her understand that her womb is that powerful, she's going to play with you. She's going to play with you. She's going to play with you. And this a little personal. Nah, you fine, pretty, and all that. Tell her, yeah. But girl, that don't mean nothing to me. Matter of fact, okay, them 3 days, yeah, ain't nothing. And we have fun. We married, we have fun. I'm gonna have fun. It's not that I don't like it. It's cool. I like me better though. I like me better. I do. I like me better. Womb, none of that stuff. And if a woman understands that her womb cannot conquer you, and her womb is not the deciding factor, and you learn what your value is, oh, you about to be a master around this joint. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? You about to be a master. Because like I said, to this day, I don't have women that don't enjoy submitting to me because you don't have to. You have the right to do whatever you want to do.
That's right.
I'm not going to never diminish myself to beg your submission. You think I am around here? There's a whole bunch of little boys out there you can go play with, though. Don't play with them. If you don't recognize the value of what's before you, I'm not for you. I love you, but I see you. And let's end it.
That's
We got a
it.
few more minutes.
Well, I wanted to say something.
Oh,
She
go
didn't. She
ahead.
was
I
about
didn't
to
know.
say she.
Hey, muñeca.
You got the
You always
skipper.
got to save the best for last.
That's right. That's right.
Go ahead.
Come on, sweet.
When the question was brought up about the failure,
Mhm.
how do I perceive failure? It reminded me of Samson, you know, how he made a poor decision being a prophet, and he was disobedient to the Most High, and he let, like you were saying, the womb lead him, and how that brought destruction, you know, took away his power, basically, because of that. And so to me, if I see a poor decision being displayed by him, that would be failure to me. You know, you're being disobedient to the Most High. You're lacking faith. You're being selfish for your own desires, you know. And we all know that that leads to negative consequences and suffering, because the Most High, what we know as remnant women, if our husbands are not doing what they're supposed to do, being submitted and obedient by the Most High will remove him and bring someone better, you know? So we know that, you know, and about jockeying for position, like we talked about in Women's Night, if you're jockeying for position, then that means you'd rather be independent.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing with the husband, right? What are you doing wasting his time and your time? You know, so you might as well just let that go if you're going to keep jockeying for position. Just, you know, just end it, you know? And so, I mean, seeing my husband over here, his demonstration of what it's supposed to look like, to see, I've seen you fall once in our whole 7 years together, once. But the way you got back up, it was like you didn't even, you just tripped. You barely stumbled, you know, you caught yourself before you even fell, you know, a just man falls, you know. But that was just a beautiful display, and that I was able to see it firsthand and witness it and be there, you know. And so what that looks like, okay, that's what that looks like. Okay, that's what I have to be, you know, because let me tell you, I failed many and plenty of times. And so, you know, when, even as long as we've been together, when this coming out here in September, I came out here in September. It's since September, so what, like 6 months, 5 months, something like that, right? I've been underneath him. And so all the things that I was able to get away with for many years, now he's seen and he's like, oh yeah, you used to get away with a lot. Oh, we're checking that now.
Because I was always moving around all over the place.
Right.
And so she had a lot of time to
For
herself.
a lot of free time, you know, and
What she thought was free time.
Right. Right. And so I would play house, you know, type of.
No, we wasn't playing house.
No, well, I'm saying like that's what it that's what it was like. You know, I would be correct and, you know, back straight when you'll be around, and then as soon as you leave, I get all, you know.
Hot girl summers.
No, I was gonna say
party around this piece, huh?
Right.
The Paris is gone.
Sorry.
Home Alone.
No. Like gin and juice.
Yeah.
But no, and so with Kiana, you know, I understand where you're coming from, because now you're actually together, living together with each other 24/7, you know, and so now it's like, oh, I was playing house. I was acting this way when he would come around, but now I can't get away with these little things that I was getting away with. Now it's in his face, you know, just like how it's in his face and he had to correct me. I've experienced a lot in the past couple months.
A lot.
Many, a lot. A lot in the
I see a
past.
lot.
Just a lot.
Just a lot.
She
Yeah.
said many, a lot, many,
Plenty. There's
I
so
think
much.
that goes for
Oh,
both ends.
Yes.
When people like actually start living together
Right.
like that, and you're around each other
Yeah,
that
Sam.
long, that I think that happens. Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody. I mean,
Oh, most definitely, you
yeah.
know, and so, but him showing me what that looks like, what if you fall or if you stumble, or the correction. Like, there was something I wrote down when someone said something about, you know, if he's not talking to me nice or something, then I feel like he failed me if he's not talking to me nice, which is, you know, when that was brought up, I'm like, dang, I didn't even think about it like that. That was powerful. Like, but I don't feel like you failed me, but that's my disposition, you know. And also, if I feel like you failed me, I'm changing my disposition towards you. And if I'm changing my disposition towards you, then I'm not appreciating you, you know? So, and that's something that I need to correct within myself and be able to constantly check, you know? And again, it's that not having that 10%, right? When you have 90% or even 95% and just that 5% of, oh, he's not talking to me nice. That's that 5%. You're willing to risk it all for that 5%.
That's the deception.
You know, and so
Here comes somebody talking nice.
yeah, here comes somebody talking nice.
Here they are.
All sweet and stuff, and then
Hey, guess what though? There you go.
yeah,
For anybody.
and then that's a decision that we have to make. Like, is that really gonna be what you want, instead of us women having that remnant man and letting it go for a worldly man for that little 5%? It's sad. It's sad.
Deception.
You know, and then bringing that correction, how we say you bring that correction, or men bring the correction. That's tough love, right? That is still love, though. You think the Most High, when he was bringing the correction with his prophets to the people, you don't think that was tough love? You know, he still loved deep and he loved hard. Yeah, the Most High. Yeah. No.
You talking about Yahweh Shai?
No, I'm talking about the Most High, how he loved.
Okay, sorry.
He loved us, you know, even before.
Would you let her tell her story?
Before I said, you know, but he didn't give up on us. You know, he didn't give up on us. And I was talking to Dove, and then I was listening to Hosea and Gomer today. You know, and it was just like how Hosea in that moment felt like the Most High, because he had a promiscuous woman that turned away from him, and he loved her so dearly. And the fact that she went and, you know, that old person pulled her back, you know, back to what she was doing, what she was comfortable with, what she loved to do, and then got tossed to and fro. And then the Most High told Hosea, go get your woman back. Go get her back, you know. And so he understood, oh, this is how the Most High loves us, right? And it's just like,
and not only
but how does it feel to feel like the Most High?
I've had to go get my woman back a couple of times.
Yeah.
Not you, but I've had to get you back. But
Yeah.
I had to go.
Don't you leave. I might not come get you back.
Where we at now?
Where we at now?
Where we at now?
Yeah.
You might be on the plane by yourself.
Yeah.
All right, man. We gotta wrap it up because
Yes.
it's late, man. Oh. Not only that, the realization of how much God loves us through what happened with Homer.
Gomer?
Hosea
and Gomer?
Hosea and Gomer. But God wasn't just seeing how much he loves us, he was showing us how much of a whore we are.
Yes.
Mhm.
The
Yes.
Israelites, yeah.
Yeah,
See
to
what I'm
the
saying?
Israelites.
He
Yeah.
was making an
So
example.
our behavior was,
Mm-hmm.
right?
How we turned away
So I
from
don't want
him.
to I don't want to miss that part.
Yeah, we
No,
talked
yeah.
about that. Yeah.
How they was lending themselves out like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, and believe in other gods and
Yeah.
trusting them more than the Most High who brought them out of Egypt.
Perfect example.
You can't find this at Rent Center.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And we're out.
Yeah.
You guys know.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
End this, honey.
Close us
Okay.
out. Auntie, let's go.
Well, you heard from Couples Night.
Powerful.
Powerful, right?
Love y'all.
You're not gonna hear this information nowhere. This ain't the red pill. Won't hear it. This is the Holy Remnant of Most High God. Thank you for coming to Remnant Outreach Night. We love you. You know, we on several different platforms every day of the week. I'm gonna let somebody else say that. Go ahead.
We are here every Wednesday
Oh, okay.
at 7 p.m.
You get
on
closer.
on we on Monday and Friday on YouTube and paid classes 7 p.m. Pacific time. On Tuesdays on Instagram 7 p.m. Pacific time, and Thursdays on OnlyFans 7 p.m. Pacific time.
All praises.
Be there or be square.
That's right.
All right. All
L7.
praises.
Music.